Hello and welcome to a new edition of Today's Youth. It's a great pleasure to be with you once again in a new Wednesday night and a new topic of interest to the youth. Extracurricular activities are of major importance to the development of a person, indeed especially the character and the personality. And when this extracurricular activity comes not only to push for better skills and better improvement of the character, but also to add certain education in terms of civics, in terms of interpersonal communication and relation between others, in terms of international diplomacy and the world of politics in general, then it would be a very beneficial activity indeed. And this is going to be the topic we're discussing in this edition of the program, a simulation of the United Nations, how procedures go around the various councils that they actually simulate and try to imitate to understand real life, how things are going, how to negotiate your point of view and try to actually convince others. It is an activity that was undertaken by the students entirely from A to Z of the Ain Shams University. We're going to discuss all about it right after this. We're back once again. Allow me first to introduce my guests in the studio tonight. I have Menna Tarek. Hello, Menna. And Menna Shafik. Omar Farid. And Ali Galal. Thank you very much for being with us. Of course, you're all students at Ain Shams University, and you are basically some of the founders and main players in the model we're talking about tonight. So let's start off first of all with your own personal involvement, each one in his own capacity in the model of United Nations at Ain Shams University. Let's start with you, Menna. How did you get introduced to the idea in the first place?
Well, I got involved in other MUN activities outside my campus, and then I decided to take it to another level, and I talked to my friends about hosting this activity inside our campus. And we started talking to doctors and professors of the law university, and then we made it happen.
Excellent, excellent initiative. So basically you've gone through the experience before elsewhere,
yes.
And you decided there was a successful initiative and you want to replicate it in your university.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get into the details of this important step, but let's go to you, Menna, and tell me, I know that you also have been a delegate at the Security Council. You've been quite involved in different levels in the model. How was the very first contact with the model?
Well, I got to know about ASMUN through a friend of mine who was an ASMUNer the year before. And then when I was involved for the first time in ASMUN, I thought it was going to be strictly academic and boring. But then when I got involved in it, it became very interesting, and I found it very developing for my character and for my skills. So I decided to also take it to the next level, and I applied as secretary the following year. And so far it's been great.
Great. Omar, you've also witnessed the birth of the Model of United Nations in Ain Shams University. Tell me, what were your memories about that time?
The whole thing started for my first year in college. We didn't find any potential activities at that time in Ain Shams University, and it was the same scenario with Menna. We had to know about the MUNs, the Model of United Nations, from other campuses in different universities. And we just, like a team, we started to think we have to start such a project in Ain Shams University. And we had our proposal and the project, and we presented to the faculty dean, the faculty of law dean, and we had his support. We had a lot of difficulties in such issue, but by the end of the day, by the second year, we were lucky enough to have the whole team, and by 2008 or something, by third year, we witnessed the born of ASMUN Ain Shams Model United Nations.
Great. Okay. And Ali, you've also had the chance to actually be part of all the different stages. I mean, you've been a delegate in the organizing committee, the academic, or the high board, actually. So, again, the first touch, how was it?
I'm a student in Faculty of Law in Ain Shams University, the English department. And I saw the advertising booth, and I go ask what's ASMUN. One of the reception committee persons just tell me it's an activity simulation to the United Nations. So I think I can apply. I applied first year, ASMUN 08. I got accepted, delegate in Human Rights Council. Second year, I believe I'm ready to go to next step. I become Secretariat in Security Council. And my third year and the last one, I was a Secretary General.
Wow. Okay. So you took it to the very last level.
Yes.
The highest on the board. Menna, Omar introduced us a little bit the first idea, how you came up with, kind of a proposal to replicate this model at the university. How was the first reaction from the dean and the professors? Were they happy and excited about the idea? Were they, scary about the procedures? How was the reaction?
They were happy and excited about the idea, but they were afraid that we might talk some politics into heads of other students. But this is not the process that we have to go through. We convinced them that we're not directing anyone into any direction. It's just pure academics. It's not biased. It's pure. And we took it from there. But none of the professors got involved in the kind of academics we wanted to deliver to the delegates. None of them.
Was that your choice or the choice of the academia at the university?
No, it was our choice. We sat together as a team and we decided that we want, the first year we had two councils, the Human Rights Council and the International Court of Justice. The Human Rights Council was more of a social council, and the International Court of Justice, we had to attract law students. So the International Court of Justice seemed like a very good idea. So this is how we first started, and then we added the Security Council to add some politics to it.
Great.
The following year.
Okay, of course, this is a live show, so you can contact us live on our phone number written on the screen below. That is 25794828. And we have our first caller, Yamna. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is Yamna Radwan.
Hello, Yamna.
Hi. First of all, I'd like to say that ASMUN was a very great opportunity for me to meet those guys. It was my second year ASMUN 2010, ASMUN 2009. It was not my first model, it was my sixth model as ASMUN 09 and the seventh as ASMUN 10. Okay, but actually ASMUN is a very great opportunity to anyone to be able to participate in it. And it was a very unique opportunity for me. This year I'm going to Global Model United Nations through this model, ASMUN. So.
Okay, Yumna, I want to ask you one thing. What attracted you to the idea in the first place? What made you participate in this activity?
Well, actually, I've known about models since I was in Thanawiya Amma through Junior Simul AUC. But when I knew that there is Ain Shams Model United Nations in my university, I love to be part of it. And I participated in ASMUN 09, and I've known that it's a very unique experience for me. So I participated again in ASMUN 10, and inshallah ASMUN 11 I'll be a secretary.
Great. Well, best of luck indeed, Yumna. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, so it seems that most of the people have actually had kind of an exposure to the Model United Nations sometime, or for some people it was totally new. I think for you, Menna, it was the first time, right?
Yes.
When you participated with Ain Shams University.
Yes.
How was the experience the very first time?
Well, I consider myself an ASMUNer more than an MUNer because pretty much ASMUN was the only, with the exception of the GMUN, it was the only model I've been involved in. As I said, at first I thought that it's going to be pure academics and the only information about politics or whatever is going on in the world is going to be injected into my head. And I thought it was going to be tedious or boring, but it turned out a very fulfilling experience. developed my character in so many ways that I cannot even count them in.